Yo, what's up? Welcome back. How's it going? Trevor Sean Audiocast. Your host, Trevor, the Trevor Jensen, episode 15. What's up, man? I'm excited. Another consistent week in a row. This is good stuff, man. This is good for me. And if you're listening, I guess it's good for you too. So, being more consistent, man. That's it. That's the game. But yeah, episode 15. This will be cool. Happy February, everybody. Almost done. And then on to March. Yeah, if this is your first time, just a quick recap. This is just a space that I have chosen to document my journey of building a valuable and successful life, and just kind of an audio series documenting it. And the idea really came from my father and brother passing away so quickly together, and I felt like I had a lot of questions and wanted to try to create a log during this crazy difficult part in our lives, when we're like 30 and searching for things and all this kind of stuff, that my kids could go back and reflect on if they needed to and be better than me. So that's the premise for it. So hope you guys enjoy and find something valuable in here. I'm just honestly trying to document things that I'm going through, lessons I'm learning, and just different topics I want to talk about and the significance of it in our lives and how it plays a role in us searching for and building a really strong, successful life. So that's really what this is all about. And I'm excited, man. This will be good. So got a couple topics here. So the first one is don't dwell. It's been a little bit of an interesting week for me, so this is a good topic to dive into. I wanted to just touch on. Next one is compare against yourself. And last, I got a cool quote from my boss that I got this week, which I thought was pretty cool. A lot to unpack with that. But yeah, welcome back. I did want to kind of try to do a little bit of a better intro to capture a little bit more about the time that we're living in. First, look, I talked about dressing nice last week, so had to put on a button up and make it look nice. Look at the layering. Look at this. Just making it happen. If you guys are just strictly listening to the audio, I apologize. You're not able to see. You have to bounce over to YouTube so you can check it out. But I do feel like a boss right now, so this is good. Let's go. But yeah, I just want to talk about a couple things. So I don't know if this is going to stay or not, but here's what I got. So number one thought I was thinking about, just a couple quick things. I'm in Utah, and the freaking Jazz are just dominating right now, and I'm not a huge Jazz fan. I'm definitely not. I'm a very big player type person, and so I'll just mark that up quickly. But it is fun to watch them, and since I am here in Utah, then I'll cheer for them. It's cool. So nice job, Jazz. Number one seed right now. It's sick. In case you guys are wondering what I'm reading right now, picked up this cool new book called, I should have had this ready. It's called Prepared, and the author, this is really annoying, I'm sorry, but I have to sign in now, so hold up. Oh man, come on. No. Got it. I got it. So it's Prepared. Really a book for kids. So the full title is Prepared: What Kids Need for a Fulfilled Life by Diane Taverner. And so I got it on Audible, been listening to it. I'm about an hour away from being finished with it, and it's a great book, man. I mean, honestly, there's a lot there. It's definitely focused on kids, and so if you're a parent out there looking for a really solid book to help with your plans and ideas for raising kids, and especially long term, it's a great book for that, and building solid habits and the best thing for kids to learn. Great book. But also has some just really good solid advice for all things life. And she does a lot of great work setting up new schools and new pathways for learning and does a lot of research and reaches out to quite a few um, thought leaders, I guess you would say, to put together her research and analysis. So good read. So that's what I'm reading right now. Again, I don't know if this is gonna stick. So let's see. In my life, just if my kids are listening right now, you guys are all. Let's see. My oldest daughter is 8. Then my boy is 5, and the youngest daughter is 3. And so, as far as like things happening in my life, we're getting ready for some dance competitions. So that'll be exciting, especially in COVID. Only one parent can go, so I'll have to watch it on tape. But it's exciting, man. Bianca's been working really hard, so it's fun to see those types of things come to the performance side of it, and like it pays off, and see how she does. So that'll be cool. Baseball's coming up for the young lad, so I'm excited to coach his team again, and he has a bunch of kids from the neighborhood that we've been coaching with for a long time, so that'll be cool. And then for the youngest, little Cozy, she's in dance, and she has some things coming up, and then also going to be starting a soccer league for her, so it'll be fun to see her getting out and pushing kids around, so that'll be fun. And yeah, I guess as far as like other stuff in the news or whatever, like tech wise, it's like I'm really interested. There's like these new NFTs. I think that'll be really interesting to see how that runs. And man, to be able to own some of these cool sports moments, that'd be sick. And then who knows what doors that opens up for everything else. But I digress. On to the stuff. I talked about being tight with my time, and I'm just losing my shit right now. So I apologize. 7 minutes in, I haven't even talked about anything. All right, so first, don't dwell. So just full disclosure, my week just started off rough for some reason. I have a few ideas why, but like, I feel like I get into these rhythms and like things can become really, really easy, especially when you build these habits. Working out, I always peg that one, but even like getting into a good rhythm of reading and journaling and, other things in life where things are just like really in a good rhythm. And for whatever reason, man, this week just threw me, dude. As like every decision I feel like I was making was so hard, and I was like losing my mind. And it was really frustrating because I feel like I'd built up such a good routine and, just great habits to combat that problem. And I've talked about that in previous episodes where it's like you build really solid habits, you don't even make the decision anymore. You just know what you got to do and just do it, right? So anyways, what a great lesson for me to learn that you still have to deal with some pretty shitty days sometimes, and it's like things are just freaking hard. And honestly, the only thing I can really point to is the biggest problem was not anything even outside of like any type of exterior problem or whatever, that you can't really control. A lot of it's just like internal problems I was just dealing with myself. And like I talk about don't dwell, and just because I feel like my entire life I've been a little bit of a dweller. Like something would happen. I feel like I can get into a rhythm, but then something would knock me out for like a couple days, and it would suck, man. I just like feel so crappy, and like I'm sure a lot of you guys know how that feels. It's like you just can't really get back, and you're trying, but you're just, I don't know, self-loathing and, pity parties or whatever it is. I think a lot of that has to do with like a victim mindset for sure. And I kind of grew up in an environment where that was really apparent, and it's hard to get that out of your mind. It's so hard to work on that, and that's a big deal. So, man, if you feel like you're a victim all the time and everything's just happening to you and you don't have any control, I just feel like you're going to have a tough life. That's something I've just really come to realize. But once you just get that out of there, it's not easier, but you do at least feel like you're in control and you can do something about it. And so that in itself is the best thing I think any of us can really hope for, is we have some type of control in our lives, and things that we do in our life matter. And so, yeah, man, there's a couple days where I was just like the first 2 days of this week, I was just like, I was just grinding. I was having a tough time. I ate really crappy. I didn't work out good at all. I didn't wake up on time. It was just like, I didn't go to bed on time. There's just like everything just seemed to start to compile. And I was like, And so one thing I want to say about that is I think it's really important when you're kind of going through those. I mean, everyone's going to have a tough day. Don't turn it into multiple days. That's a big deal. And a couple ways to combat that is, in my experience, what I learned this week, vent it out. Find a friend, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, to just vent it out and get your thoughts out. And I think another thing that helps with that is, I talk a lot and I dump a lot of words on my wife, and like, God bless her, because I'm a little bit of a head case sometimes. I feel like I just talk a lot. I like to talk, and but this time wasn't just this time wasn't just about being excited just to talk about something or whatever. It had a lot more to do with, like, I was just kind of trying to deal and figure some things out, and so I just told her. I was like really transparent and communicated better, and I just said, hey, I need to talk through some of this stuff, and I need you to help me. And I think that just set a completely different tone. And when I told her that, she was just really, man, she was like really in tune with me and helped me just kind of see things from a different angle. And I cannot tell you how beneficial that was. And I think our network in our lives, we're social beings, and we need to have that in our life to be able to combat some of these really crappy days. And who knows, man, sometimes like these days turn into weeks and months and like maybe even years, and it's like really tough, but you got to be able to like work through it. And I think that's the best way to do it. So vent it out, get it out. And then some other activities I think really help is write it down and like vent it out on some paper. You guys know I'm a pretty big support of writing, and I feel like it's a very therapeutic way to really think through your thoughts in a deeper way, and helps you really start to sort some stuff out. So I think that's a big deal. And then I think the other thing I really noticed, I was like, just having these bad days, I was just kind of going through the day and just be like, just having a crappy day, and trying to find something to like pinpoint it on. But I feel like I went about that the wrong way. You really got to try to figure out what's missing and what's going on, because when I really dove into my day, I was like, dude, I'm not working out. I'm not going to sleep on time. And it's like, I'm not eating good. It's like all these things started making me just feel really crappy. Just having bad work days. And so just start simple and like start to fix something. And no matter how hard it is, just go get it done. And I did that. And I got some exercise in. I wrote some stuff down, started to kind of sort them through some of my thoughts, obviously talking to a friend and my wife and making that stuff happen, and things just started to turn around, and all of a sudden you're back on track. And today was a great day. I had like an awesome day, and I like put it back on the rails really fast, and that was really cool to see when you just kind of made that decision to be like, hey, let's fix it. And I was really determined to figure out what's going on and put some things together. And I talked about like building your perfect day and what that means. I really just went back to that fundamental of those things. I had also went back to some different like we talked about resources last week. Definitely use those this week, where I had to go back and just kind of go through a couple podcast episodes, some favorites that I've saved, some YouTube videos, and really got me back on track quickly to kind of reassess where I'm at and where I want to be and my goals and all that kind of stuff. So don't dwell on it too bad. Dwelling's just looking at wasted time and feeling bad about it. So feel crappy, but let it spur you to do something else. I think that's the biggest message for sure. Let's see. Yeah, and the last thing is I wrote down just exercise, writing, sleep, all great things to kind of take that break and get back into the swing of things. So sometimes even just taking a break, going doing something that you love doing is a huge deal. So we all know ourselves and what we need. Just gotta like really dive into it. All right, on to the next thing. Comparing against yourself. I came across this interview someone was giving to Michael Jordan, and they were just like, what made you the best? And was it your athleticism? Was it your talent? Was it, tons of practice and whatever? And the first thing he said is like, I wasn't just like this crazy gifted guy. He's like, I got cut from my high school team. And he's like, the one thing that really stuck out in my mind, and I've heard this before, was that he only competes against himself. And you guys know me, I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan. So in his book, he talks about only compare yourself to who you were yesterday, and be very careful about comparing yourself to other people around you and all that kind of stuff, because you just don't know their situations. You don't know the different levels of skills and intelligence and all this kind of stuff. There's just so many different factors that you just can't account for. And same thing with Tom Brady. One of my favorite quotes that he says is it better to be the best or your best? And obviously the answer to that is your best, because that unlocks unlimited potential. Like, who knows how good you could be? Who knows? The best, there's a mark for that, and then once you beat that, it's like, then what? You feel like you get that goal achieved, and then you're just kind of like done, and then who knows how much better you could have been, you know? That's the cool thing to really think about. Is I feel like, I mean, there's a lot of other successful people that talk about this too, not just athletes, but those are very apparent for me, at least in my life, because that was a big area for me when I was a kid to kind of get me through some really difficult times. But like, you know, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, all these guys, those dudes just had a really crazy mindset to really push themselves. And there's other people like that nowadays that are entrepreneurs, and, you know, all these type of role models that we can strive to be. And by the way, I do feel like it's great to strive for things. I mean, I read the Shoe Dog about Phil Knight starting Nike, and one of his main goals was just to kill Adidas. That was like his biggest competitor, and all he wanted to do was beat them. And so that was definitely a huge point in the horizon that he wanted to chase down, and he did it, and it was really cool. But I don't think it was just about that. He wanted to keep going, and I mean, it shows. I mean, the brand that he was able to build, and like everything that Nike is now, it's like there's not one person that doesn't know what Nike is in the world. You know, it's pretty crazy. But the last thing I'll say about that is the ability to really dial into our own potential and focus solely on being better than what we were yesterday. I just think that's such a great message, because no matter what stage of life that you're at, you can always take a look at your day and be like, okay, I did this yesterday. How can I be a little bit better today? And that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I've talked about the slow game and just being patient with your life. It's like, who ever told you that you needed to be completely crazy successful tomorrow? And what does that even mean? It's like, yeah, you can work like crazy, work your ass off and go make $1 million, but are you better for that? Is that what you need? Is that what people around you need in your community and all that kind of stuff? It's like, money obviously makes things happen, and that's good, but there's just so many other different types of components that you have to consider. And so taking a look at your life and who you were yesterday compared to what you want to accomplish today, even if you're just 1% better, I mean, that's just like, that plays out over the long term, and you can that's where you can really sustain very valuable growth, rather than like, oh, I killed it today, and then maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe you need to take a slow game. Maybe you need to really build some strong, long-lasting habits so that you can sustain that over the course of years, rather than a week and then get burnt out and then quit and then do something else, you know? So I just love that idea. And I love the idea of like betting on yourself and loving yourself and like taking care of you, and like really diving into whatever your potential is. I mean, can you imagine if everyone lived up to their greatest potential? That'd be a really great thing for everybody. Families, your community, everything, the world. That'd be really cool. So just a couple thoughts on that. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to share is just a quote from my boss. It was kind of a weird incident that came up. So his name's Jake Seataler, and he owns quite a few different businesses and real estate and all that kind of stuff. So he's been really great to watch over the years for me, and kind of mentor me into a more global thinker about my life and the different successes that you can have, and striving and working hard and all that kind of stuff. But lately, he's been on a little bit more of a path of like dealing with one side of the business, and has pushed a lot more responsibility on me, which has been great. It's been really good for me and it's helped me grow. But I still lean on him with some questions and things like that sometimes, which, it's easy just to send him a Slack message or something like that to ask him something. And so I've been trying to be better about like, never mind, I'll try to take care of her or whatever. And I made a dumb, I sent him something stupid like saying like, I'm driving the ship now or something like that. I'm the new captain of this ship or something like that. And because he didn't remember how to do something from last year or whatever. And anyways, he sent me this back, and it's kind of something to ponder that could be helpful. So he said, to remember where one has been on the open sea is a task for record keepers, not the captain. The captain only cares about charting the path ahead, not the sea long past. So I don't know if that's a quote from anywhere or any book or whatever. He just sent that to me, and I asked him if he just came up with that on the spot, and he said yes. I don't know if he was joking with me or not. But nonetheless, something interesting to think about. So anyways, keeping it short and sweet. Hope you guys are having a great week. I'll catch you guys next time on Thursday. Hopefully keep this train rolling, and yeah, keep grinding. My kids, love you guys, and peace out.